Naira has been on the front burner. The Naira Redesign has been on the front burner. And it's an issue that we must tackle and tackle effectively. Now, just before we hit the weekend, the president made a promise and asked for a 7-day grant from Nigerians. And that's what we also will be taking a look at, where the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, N500, has stated categorically that the 7-day request made by President Muhammadu Buhari to resolve the problems associated with the cash crunch in the country was just too long, saying the twin problem of fuel and Naira note scarcity has made lives of many Nigerians totally miserable. A whole lot of Nigerians have said that President Muhammadu Buhari does not appreciate the enormity and the intensity of the pains Nigerians are going through, all in an attempt to obtain cash from their accounts in banks across the country. Several lives have been lost already, just as the social and economic activities have been seriously paralyzed in Nigeria. Now, the president, however, said that he will take a decision one way or the other within these 7 days he has requested for. He, however, also said that the currency redesign will give a boost to the economy and provide long-term benefits. He also expressed doubts about the commitments of banks in particular to the success of the policy. Let me quote him. "Some banks are inefficient and only concerned about themselves." That's what the president said. He said even if a year is added, problems associated with selfishness and greed will not go away. Now, here is some of the observations. For the nation to have to wait for another 7 days is to say that people can continue to go on suffering, people can go and die, and because the president needs 7 days. And of course, emotions of Nigerians has predictably run high due to frustrations. Places like Ekiti, Ibadan, Benin, Port Harcourt, and even here in Abuja and Lagos, tension has been very, very noticeable. And people are really not having a good time. Now, on the part of the APC governors and party, they have both criticized and somewhat supported the president's policy. In criticizing, the CBN governor has had the brunt of their criticisms, and to an extent, they said they are still supporting the president's policy, only that the timing has been wrong. They have, however, requested that the president use his powers to direct the concurrent flourish of the new and old notes till the end of the year, which, of course, will defeat one of the major reasons why this policy was put in place, and that is counting down to the elections, stop vote buying. Now, we are going to talk about this on Vital Point because we want to, and the question right now, if you go to our Facebook page and some of our platforms where we posted it, after 7 days, what next? After 7 days, what next? And those who have been accused, we have one of them here, the POS operators. You guys have been in the front line of it alongside the banks. I have Francis Okoye, an executive member, Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, AMBAN, the Abuja chapter. Welcome, Francis.
Thank you, sir.
Are you feeling the heat?
Of course.
You know we don't like you right now. Nigerians don't like you right now.
You guys should like us because we are the one actually making things a little bit easier for a lot of people.
By collecting for the land flows for 1,000. See, don't tell us it's easy. You know what to say?
If I tell you my experience, you know that it's not a good time.
No, I think we should look at it this way. You know, POS, apart from the fact that I'm an executive member here, I'm also an agent.
Okay.
You understand? I have my own, this is what I do.
Okay, just hold on.
Okay.
And you've heard his voice, very angry voice. He has also had his own part of issues with the government. I'm talking about Dr. Aliu Ilyas. He's a lecturer, a political economist, and a regular guest here on WeFM. and on Vital Point. Dr. Elias, thank you for making it down.
Thank you for having me. Even though I came with a lot of baggage, thanks to you that you have an agent that we can discuss. Yes, honestly.
When the lecturers were venting, you vented.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's quite appalling. It's a long time for us.
We talked behind the scene, and you were saying that, well, the House of Reps they've tried their best,
Right.
and we threw a teaser at you.
When
The House of Reps, were they very much in support of ASU when ASU were fighting?
Well, let's not go into that. However, he actually went to, he actually called attention. You know, the major thing is that the National Assembly are different from the executives.
Yes.
So sometimes the executive are the final people that will make decisions. So they are just like now, David Miller and his people in House of Reps said they will declare warrant of arrest on Emefiele. But the fact
But
is
he has
that
appeared.
the president, who then the police and every other thing is under the president. So who arrests who? So that's just the thing.
And in the middle of these two guys, we have to separate them and put him in the middle. So in case the blows come, he will be the peacemaker. I have Agaba Wilson Agaba, our very own public affairs analyst, business consultant, financial analyst. And Agaba, myself and you, we have been talking about this Naira Redesign. We supported it, but right now there seem to be plenty of friction and aggros associated with this. And so we have to find solutions so that Nigerians should know the direction in which to go in this one. So Wilson, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so let's start with you, Doc.
Right.
The APC governors
Right.
came in, and at one point in time or the other, before we go on, the calls are already coming in already. At one point in time, we might in fact invite our own Folari to join us on this. He's
Right.
also an economist, a lecturer, and so many other things. He's a writer, and he has been writing about
He has many caps.
He has many caps, and he has a piece in one of the dailies. And Agaba also has a piece in one of the dailies concerning some of these issues. Okay, so he will be coming in at one point in time. So, Doc, let's back to you.
Right.
I'm going to throw this at you.
Right.
The APC governors went to pay a visit to the president, and this is one of the things that most Nigerians are very much concerned about and asking these questions. They went to pay a visit to the president and said that they are the ones close to the grassroots. They are the ones feeling the brunt of the anxiousness of the people and the tension of the people. Now, one of the questions that was thrown at me when I posted this out was that during the ASU strike, why didn't the APC governors go meet the president? When there was inflation, why didn't the APC governors go meet the president? When fuel scarcity has lasted over a long, why didn't the APC governors go meet the president? And why are they going to meet the president now?
Now, the fact remains that we must be able to understand that politics and economy, they are inseparable. You cannot separate the two. The two always come side by side. So people use the economic strength to control the politics, and politics also come to control the youth. But the fact just remains that we must go back to the background to this issue. Now, we are talking about cashless. The fact remains that we must establish that Nigeria is cashless already. We are doing 1.8% to GDP. Very, very big economies that do 5%, 10%. So we are at 1.8. We are good at that. Now, for our governors, it is their interest that they are trying to pursue. It's very, very clear, because they knew that if this thing continues, it might affect their re-election or their party. That is just clear, because
So it's selfish.
they are selfish, and that's why I say politics itself and the economy. However, we should go back to the background of issue, Emefiele itself. We must not get it wrong that we don't have good banking system or our economy. You know, I must tell you that this same Emefiele has tried to an extent, because banking generally in the whole world, Nigeria is scoring very, very high. Because you recall that we have ESSD, check globally where we use a better banking system like that. It's also coming up with what we call Afrigo, good economic policy. It's also doing Naira Redesign. It's a normal thing. Statutorily, you're supposed to be doing Naira Redesign every 5 years. So it's not a bad thing to go. But the problem is that it's a wrong time. And why everything at the same time? So why will you want to say that you want to do design and within 100 days or 3 months, everybody must change the currency and be using the new currency? You have actually bring a problem. More so, our inflation is structural. So Naira design cannot solve the problem of inflation. You must have seen the way other Nigerians see, where some of the bandits are even displaying the so-called Naira. And politicians has also hijacked this Naira. Immediately the new money arrived, they have gotten their own share, and the masses are now suffering. That is our pain. Very, very appalling.
So whose fault is it, right?
It should be it should be federal government. If I'm the president, because he has the financing. And that's why it's so appalling that he's telling us that we should give him 7 days. 7 days for what? I've stopped preempting President Buhari. I only want him to do what is desirable. Make the money available for the next 6 months, 1 year.
Wilson, enter into this because before we bring in our Francis, our POS executive, because you are dealing with the final consumer, which is us, that go and queue and hate you for taking our money and not giving us enough Naira. What do you have to say concerning what he's just said?
For me, like you said, I agree with him that the policy is a good one. I also believe that the timing is not wrong. I also believe that the objectives of the policy is noble.
Because one thing that the governors has said is that congratulations on the policy, but
Yes.
the timing is wrong.
And I'm saying the timing is not wrong because there is no best time for any good policy. If implementation was properly captured and planned for, and this is where I have always blamed the CBN governor, because the president himself will not plan the policy implementation for you. You raise this policy, you put it together, and you meet the president and say, sir, this is what we need to do, and these are the benefits. The president reads through it. If he is satisfied, he gives his assent to it, and he hopes on you to deliver it. And I expected the CBN governor to be able to foresee the challenges that we are currently having, and probably gone back to the president and say, look, I'll need a team and the cooperation of sister agencies to help me implement this policy. We envisage that it is possible for bank managers to hoard this money for their politician friends. We want to do X, Y, Z to ensure that this is not done. We envisage that there will be panic. We want to do X, Y, Z so that there won't be panic. And I also expected him to have envisaged that one of the things that will cause stampede for cash is because people need to buy and sell. And there is a huge chunk of the population that you can actually take away from that. You earlier on introduced the e-Naira platform. Apart from talking about it on air, we did not see you put foot on the ground in markets, teaching market women, traders, how to set up their own e-wallets to receive payment. We did not see you at junction teaching Okada riders on how to use it. We did not see you working with the taxi drivers, because these are the people that people pay money to every now and then in order for the economy to keep moving. So that was not done. To some extent, I agree with him when he says he blames the federal government, because the CBN is part of the federal government and it is a tool that the federal government uses for its monetary policies. So at the end of the day, they failed in the implementation. And nobody, especially when politicians are saying it is ill time, I don't agree with them. If they wanted to make it work, we can make this work in 60 days. If the governors want to make it work, instead of blocking it. If all of us agree that this policy is good, the next question would have been, what can I do to help? You and I have been helping on your show here. Nobody paid us. But because we are Nigerian, we see it's a good policy, it should work. We talk about it, we enlighten people.
The governors, just like what Doc said, have been talking about the sufferings. And now you have also agreed with them, saying that implementation has not been effective. That's right, Doctor.
Correct.
Yes.
Has not been effective. So if implementation has not been effective, doesn't that also point to the fact that maybe that policy was not well thought of, well, it's wrong, and it's actually affecting the people?
It is. And what I think we should be thinking is, Nigerians have already suffered to come this far. What should we be thinking? how do we make it work quickly so that the suffering will end once and for all?
So you agree with the 7 days the
Yes.
president has asked for?
Let the 7 days expire, and as you can see, you are seeing a lot of video report already where there are squads going around, checking the banks, asking them to open their vault, and you can see a lot of them have stashed all the new notes in their vaults.
Notarious.
Right.
I believe that if that clampdown continues and people are used as scapegoats, in the next 1 week you will see great improvement.
7 days the president has asked for. The governors say
Right.
that people have lost lives. Banks are being destroyed. Everywhere there's a lot of disgruntlement. And he is saying that it will work after 7 days.
Definitely.
Is there magic that's going to happen?
It's not going to work, and it's practical. You see, our socio-economic life has been distorted already. People have been thrown into poverty already. People that do buy and selling, you know, they have to collect cash. They cannot do anything. I can share you a life experience.
Please go
I
ahead.
was in Kaduna and I needed 15,000 naira. Do you know I have to go around? The only person who can give, the only POS, I have to pay 2,700 naira to get some of 15,000
Very
naira.
specific.
In fact, it's somehow, you know, and other people have to go home. In fact, people have to sleep in their offices because they do not have cash to pay for transportation. Funny enough, when I was moving from Zaria to Kaduna, I don't have cash. Then I need to approach the driver. Oga driver, I'm paying 700 naira. Me, I want transfer. He said, no problem, Oga, where cash dey? Collect. You know, you have to collect. So it's not possible. What magic will you do? You know, you need to think about countryside. You need to think about people that have to do a lot of things. I could tell you that yesterday, churches and mosques, even the money they get has reduced. You know, because once people cannot pay cash, people don't want to transfer. And there's culture that once you cannot spend the cash, in fact, the transfer becomes so difficult. And another appalling part of it is that, do you know that our infrastructure for transfer of funds has also been down? I don't know if you experienced that. I booked for a particular airline to go to Lagos. When I booked two-way, when I booked that flight, I never see, they didn't remove, I didn't receive SMS that they have deducted my money. The app never shown they have deducted my money. You know what? I tried the second time. Before I know, they removed the two amount. And I cried, what kind of thing is this? I went to them and they said I should go to bank. Last, they said I could only reuse it in future. Do you see how bad that is? That you will hold my over 100,000 naira with you until I decide to. So it has a lot of negative effects. So the best of it is that they should extend this. Some have projected 6 months, some have projected December. What will it cost federal government to let it go pari passu? So remember, the major aim of doing this, one of the major aims, to reduce money from getting to the hands of terrorists or paying cash as ransom. They are collecting already. Remember, they also have alternative of collecting other currency. They can collect in dollar, in pounds, and whatever. So we need to rethink this and make sure that we give it, because any policy you are doing.
When you say rethink it, are you going to agree with the governors that say give it 1 year?
What?
End of the year.
I agree, extension at least more 3 months. I wouldn't say 1 year, but at least next 3 months. And remember that even next 3 months is conditional. You must make sure that the two money is coming out pari passu. So as CBN comes out and said this is the amount we are pushing to the public, they have actually not.
They have said that.
How much? 300
The
billion?
CBN has said they have been giving, the last time the man spoke,
He said,
he said they were giving 30 million to each branch of the bank on a
the
daily
total
basis.
sum, not what
Each-
you are giving.
each
Total
branch.
sum.
He
That's
said each branch. That's what I heard.
Remember,
And the banks have not come out to
Don't
dispute
dispute
it.
we still remember. That's why we said the conceptualization of this idea is even wrong. People that are stakeholders are not being carried along. The first people to even the minister, remember, came out and said to have a backlash. We are having it now. Have you?
Which of the ministers?
Minister of Finance said it, that this idea is going to have issues because it's not well.
The same minister of
conceived.
finance that said that,
Right now,
that said
money.
that
Wait now.
the suffering is transient.
Banks are not taking along properly. The money agents are not taking up. We are now saying they have money agent. 30,000 of you, money agent has been
Let's bring Francis
So
Okoye
Francis, I
into
think
it.
you can come into
Recruited for
this.
the money swap.
So,
Right,
Francis
yes.
Okoye, in case you're just joining, is an executive member of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria. How has it been for you?
It's been before now, sir, as an agent with a bank. You understand? We have what they call agent account, where there are some exceptions. There are some charges that are applied to ordinary account, everyday account that don't apply to us.
Right.
You
And
can
these are what
move
we
in
are expecting.
yes, you can move in any amount and actually, take your money, take any amount without any charges. But all these accounts and every other privilege we used to enjoy as agents are no longer there.
Moved.
You understand? As an agent, you can move in, take any amount you want from that account, no charges apply. But now, you can, any amount you take now, you are just like every other person. Now, we source
So there's
from
nothing
agent
special
there's
about
nothing special about agent as
Now,
it is right now.
Big ID, you know why I brought up this
Please
issue?
go ahead.
I brought up this issue so that we can shed light on where the problem truly is.
No, but before
And
we
so that we may be able to also give the CBN the benefit of the doubt. Number one, I have always blamed the CBN that they shouldn't have called this a cash swap program, because you are not actually swapping cash. You are trying to mop up the cash that are not in the system into the system, and you have a follow-up policy that limits your withdrawal per day. So it means what you are doing is bringing people into the banking system. So when you send agents out there, the agents should also be able to open accounts and collect deposits. So that if I have 100,000, I come to open an account with the agent, deposit my 100,000, collect 10,000, which I will need now, so that I can go back later. But when you make it a swap and you give that person who has 100,000, 10,000, where will he take the 90,000? These are the things causing these problems. And the CBN, I believe, I don't speak for them, I have not seen their blueprints. I believe they have also assumed that guys like Okoye here are affiliated to the commercial bank, and the commercial bank should by default use their agent to open an account and also do this swap. But obviously, like he has said, the commercial bank has cut them out.
So,
And the CBN did not put anything in place
if you
to
permit
confirm
me,
whether they are
permit
using
me,
them.
I want to ask Okoye.
Yes.
Okoye, what's the name of the umbrella body?
Association of Amban. Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria.
Because it's when you say you get cash through ATM, it's quite. There's no way you will not push the cost to the consumer.
That is the
Yes.
reality.
So I expect even CBN to have had direct business with
Exactly.
you that go to the bank. They have to tell the bank to do it. Not bank does not even have choice at this point
Thank
in
you.
time. That banks, this is for agents. Give it to mobile money agent.
That's what we've been crying for, but it never happened. A lot of people have been saying, that there is no, the real stakeholders were not brought into the policy. You understand? A lot of people were not carried along as regards to the implementation. Let me say also that we are not against this policy. You understand? We are
No,
not.
you people
But
have
CBN
not posited like you are
Yes,
against
we are
it
not
at all.
against this
You are
policy.
also victims.
We are looking for solutions.
Yes,
We are looking for solutions.
we've asked them to carry us along. That's only what we are saying. When the issue of withdrawal limit came on board,
Yes.
Amban spoke up. Amban went to National Assembly. Amban
And they
engaged a lot of
extended
things,
it.
and they extended and they increased it. Initially it was
Increase
100,000
their
per week.
to 500.
Yes.
Then 500,000 for a corporate account. Eventually it was increased to 500,000 for individual. Then 5 million for corporate account. So when Amban spoke, engaged a lot of people, it was eventually increased. You understand? Now after increasing it to that 500,000, you are not coming back to limit ATM withdrawals to 20,000 per day. They are not making it okay. So it became practically difficult for us to
That
run
limit
any
was
business.
not supposed to include you people.
It's not supposed to include us.
You people were
Because-
supposed to be treated as mini banks.
Thank you. That's what it's supposed to be. But they were not carried along. The limit also applies to every agent. We source cash just the way every other person
So
source
now we have eliminated you as our problem.
Right.
It is
cash. We are not.
We've eliminated the POS
Sir,
operators
you know-
as our
Can I
problem.
say-
I thought we are paying high.
not the problem.
Can I say something very quickly?
Quickly now, we are going on a break.
Some agents
Yes.
actually, I don't know how to put this.
Say it.
Say it as it is.
Some agents actually go the extra mile to get this cash in terms of paying people to get cash.
From the banks.
No,
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 from
from
you
any
as-
point.
any point.
From the markets, you know,
Even
they get people to
some
mob
police
that, and
stations
when
are
they mob, they
insisting
pay
on
to
cash.
get it.
It could even be
As
third
much
party who
yes.
gets it from banks.
Thank you.
To now buy
As
exactly
much as
from them.
as much as
Is that a business?
as
Most
much
of
as
the people at
sir,
ATM queue
as much
are
as
withdrawing
100
to go and sell
naira
now.
per thousand, as much as 200 naira per thousand. That is what I'm saying. Is as
That's
much
what
as
you get.
10,000. I'm telling you, like I told you, I have a lot of
Agents.
around me. So and as much as 10,000 naira per 100,000, 15,000 naira per 100,000. So when somebody gets that money and people come to your outlet, they expect you to have
Give
some
them
privileges that you have
ability.
to serve them. They expect you that okay, since you work with the bank, you're supposed to have money. You understand? But they don't know all the.
You don't have.
You are
don't have
people's
money.
bank.
You understand? So because you have to also be in business, you have to source this cash, get it, and
It's
across
Vital
your business.
Point on WFM 106.3, and it's all about the Naira redesign. Again, the president has given a 7-day ultimatum. We have an executive member of the Association of Mobile Money Operators here, and in agreement, we've eliminated them as a problem. Agreed?
We're not. We're not.
We're not.
We have
Even
is
though I
it
traded
eliminate?
off my money, it's not.
So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at, after these 7 days, which the president has asked for, what next? Should we start looking at how we are going to sort out this issue? Because we are at the precipice of high tension right now, and Nigerians are just at that breaking point. The governors are saying this is where it is, even though the opposition party are saying support the president and support the CBN, and they are getting criticized for it. Join us, 0817-687-2132, 0817-687-2134. Let's talk about this. We'll be back after this break. It's the vital point. 7 days the president has asked for, and that 7 days is part of the 10-day extension. And already we have already eaten deep into that 7 days, and it's almost time up for the president. The governors went to pay a visit. The socio-political groups are saying that the president is too slow and he is not aware of the sufferings of Nigerians. The president said that he is putting the blame solely on the banks for not doing enough to ensure that this policy goes into. And myself and Wilson, we have talked about technology, the use of technology and other means to ensure that this policy takes place. Now, if we go along, if the president comes up and says that let's go with the governors, are we not towing the line of what the governors and the politicians want by hijacking this policy and not doing what the president wants? Is it not a hidden agenda of this? Because according to what we have heard, when situations have been on ground, these governors did not come and pay a visit to the president.
For
Listen,
instance,
let's start
ASU strike,
with- Yes.
they were not there. Fuel issue, we did not hear from
Is
them.
there an agenda behind this visit?
Then cashless policy, all of a sudden they love us so much. The National Assembly, their, what do they call that project again, constituency project, most of them are done on papers. They did not care about their village people that time. If they actually cared, what they ought to do is to go and hold town hall meetings with their people and say this is what this policy aims to do, and this is what you should do in order to fit in, and this is what I can do to help. Not for you to come to Abuja and say my people are selling okra in the village, they will not get cash. I mean, we have data that says 54% of Nigerians are living in urban area. That's enough for us to start
We
a
have more
cashless
people
policy.
who have no accounts.
And exactly, and data says that 51% of Nigerian population have access to internet. That means we can use internet transaction and all of that. And even the NIBS data shows that a lot of Nigerians are already moving towards electronics banking, with our transaction hitting almost about 287 trillion in 2022. So at the end of the day, it points that this policy is doable. But what we all need to do is each stakeholder playing their own part, which in this case is lacking. The National Assembly have refused to reach out to their constituency to say this is a policy, this is what it aims to achieve, this is what you can do to help. The governors have refused to go back home and do their
They are
work,
shifting the blame to
and they are shifting the blame to
you are shifting the blame to the governors and the National Assembly.
Yes, I'm not. Look, I'm not cut out to blame one person, because I believe that for this thing to work, all hands must be on deck. We are all stakeholders. You and I have been doing our part, enlightening people about the policies and its importance. Why don't these people do things like that too? It doesn't cost them money.
Doc, you are not in agreement with it.
Well, the fact remains that we must remind the federal government that they are creating a recessionary tools for Nigeria economy.
When you say recessionary tools,
Yes, this can lead to recession. This thing that is just
how many
happening.
times have we fallen into recession?
Well, the fact, no, this one is not global anymore. You can, that the other one you could say maybe global meltdown. You could say COVID-19. But this one is inbuilt recession. Do you know that MSME employ over 50% of Nigerians, and these are what they do, and these people need literally to.
Because Agaba is
cash.
saying that this tension is artificial.
I agree with him. It is. So, but the challenge is that you are killing the economy, not only the rural economy, also even the urban economy, because people have to transact one thing or the other. I must say, some people have been at home since this issue started. They cannot transact, they cannot do any business, they cannot feed well, they cannot get money. I somewhere yesterday, someone who sweep the environment, they want to pay this person 15,000 naira that she collects every month, and now he sees that they want to transfer it to the woman. The woman insisted that no, I cannot collect transfer. How can you give me a sum of 15,000 naira and I'll use 2,000 naira to get the money? So where is the money again? And they decide not to pay the woman.
Is that
the
not
woman
what
decide not
he's
to
saying,
collect.
that our officials should be educating those in the rural
This
areas?
is even beyond education. The policy time frame is anti-Nigerians. I must say this. It's anti-people. How can you know, you have to consider how many people do this transfer we are talking about. Please, let's be careful. People at the head, they don't do transfer. They pay by cash and collect by cash. I have given you a typical woman who said, don't give me, well, in fact, I don't even have an account. That's what she said. Please give me 15,000 naira cash. I don't have an account.
Agaba.
You see, I like for us to accept reality. We know these policies are aware that a great percentage of Nigerians are unbanked. That's about 50-something%.
So that way
about 41.5% are banked. And just like every other country, it is better that you have a higher population banked. And our CBN policies and the financial policies have always been to create inclusiveness.
You must remember
You understand?
that.
And because of this, several policies have been pushed out. And like I told you, I don't think it's a bad approach.